For my foreign policy newspaper article, I mainly wrote about the Cuban Missile Crisis since it was a pivotal moment for the United States and almost began a nuclear war between the US and the USSR. I mainly wrote the article explaining the buildup that led to this moment and how the USSR were able to become powerful enough to challenge the United States. My opinion article was about OPEC and how the United States should react to the unionization of Middle East oil exports. I explained how it would be economically beneficial to increase domestic oil production since it would decrease the need for foreign intervention by the United States and provide another form of export for the country as well. My comic strip article was about Vietnam vets being left in the dark when it came to U.S. support after the war, and how these veterans who were forced to leave their homes for war were disrespected for their service by the general population. The song I wrote about was Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater Revival, since it was interesting to me how the song was originally an anti-war song but became a pro-war song due to popular media. It also painted the grim reality for the poor and middle class in America who weren't lucky enough to be born rich and forced to go to war. For my domestic policy newspaper article, I mainly wrote about Martin Luther King's push for civil rights for black Americans. In terms of domestic issues, this was the biggest event of the mid-1900s. For my opinion article, I wrote about Red Scare and McCarthyism and how Americans were overreacting to the entire situation. For my invention, I wrote about cassette tapes and how they pushed for the free speech movement and anti-society by allowing music that may not be mainstream to still be accessible for cheap. Lastly, for my events article, I wrote about Woodstock and how it went against the grain during a pretty grim time in American history.